Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
And welcome to the program. It's another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. Thanks for spending your evenings here with us on our favorite sports radio station. You can watch the show 4 o'clock p.m. every single weekday at Behind the Law Radio, Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform. You can also watch the TV show. It's Behind the Law on television this Sunday and every Sunday, 10 a.m. on TV 27. March Madness is here. We'll be talking about that today. We will do what's going on with Allie Mack. We'll also play Stump the Clarkie in the second half hour. Also, throughout the program today, a very special guest will be joining us. The famous podcaster, Rob Coble, will join us and spend some time as well. The beautiful Brianna is back. Brianna, where have you been? I've been naming all of these countries that I think that maybe you were at, and everyone tells me I've been wrong this whole time.
You were not correct.
Welcome back. Where have you been?
I was in El Salvador.
What the heck? El Salvador?
Yeah.
For what reason would anyone go to El Salvador?
I had a missions trip there.
Oh, yeah. You're a way better person than I am.
Yeah.
El Salvador? They even have airports down there.
They had one.
Oh, God.
What
kind of airplane flies into El Salvador these days?
You know what? Spirit wouldn't even go there.
I bet they wouldn't.
We had to fly American, which was totally
you go to
random.
El Salvador. You live in like a hut or something? I mean, where do you stay?
No. We stayed at Castillo del Rey,
Oh.
which is the host for our missions trip. And they had pretty good accommodations, bunk bed style. And we stayed in a girls' dorm with about 5 or 6 other groups that were there, almost like a hostel, but a little bit better because it's gated and we had guard dogs, and there was a pool that no one got into.
So what kind of mission were you on?
For obvious
what kind of
reasons.
mission was this? You got to help me. I have to understand this. I mean, to get someone to go buy an airplane ticket to go to El Salvador, I mean, this must have been some kind of mission.
Yeah, well, we do. My youth group that I'm a part of at my church does a lot of outreach in the community. So we go to schools, we do things at the Boys and Girls Club, the Y, and just connect with people there and have fun with them and show them the love of Christ. So we basically did that in another country.
Well, God bless you for that. I mean, look, El Salvador's, I don't know if I'm going to...
Yeah, it was pretty tough. We saw it. We did see a dead body, so that was...
How many connections did you have?
Awkward.
7? You had to stop in 7 different cities for connections?
Nah, I just stopped in one, Miami.
I guess Miami goes everywhere down there.
It kind of does. Once you get to Miami, you can literally go wherever you want.
It's so annoying, this whole flying anymore, though. It really is. I mean, especially when you have a connection in Miami, especially when you get back.
Yeah.
You have to wait in those the TSA lines forever in Miami, right?
Yep. We had to wait in the TSA line. We had to go through, to get out of the country, which was weird, we had to go through immigration twice.
Yeah.
Which...
It's terrible.
I'm like, let me leave. I'm an American.
It's March Madness. The University of Tennessee squeaked one out yesterday. Hopefully you were watching my Volunteers play. I know who doesn't like March Madness anymore. It's my family. They're so sick and tired of me watching these basketball games. And then, by the way, we have a big event this Thursday. I want you to come. This is officially your invitation to come to the first annual Under One Roof Expo this Thursday, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
At where? Ace Cafe, downtown Orlando. By all means, all of our businesses are going to be there. We'll have the mortgage company, title company, law firm, insurance company. We'll have a financial advisor there. So it's really a one-stop shop to deal with your financial issues. Just come by. I mean, if nothing else, there's some free food and drinks for you and say hello. We'd love to see you. The first annual Under One Roof Expo this Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. at Ace Cafe, downtown Orlando.
You know something really cool about that?
What? It's not in El Salvador.
Well, but Ali Asmar of Mecca Builders has agreed to give away a free kitchen.
What?
Up to $10,000.
Can I join?
No.
I mean, can I put my name in the hat?
You cannot put your name in the raffle.
Oh,
No.
wow. Okay.
But he's, we talked about it, and he said that if you show up and you sign up for that raffle, he will enter you to win a free kitchen makeover.
Wow. Rob Coble's here. Rob, how are you, sir? Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks
for
having
spending
me.
some
I'm
time
doing
with
great.
us. We're going to get into your stuff here in a minute, too, and talk about your awesome podcast. I went on a little vacation as well. A vacation for me is 2 days. I took Thursday and Friday off. Went to St. Augustine with the family. I have a 1-year-old, and I love her to death. I mean, she's just so cool. But dinner time is very tough with a 1-year-old. It just is. My 6-year-old, Sophia, was perfect. I mean, we would go to nice restaurants. She would just sit there. It was amazing. The 1-year-old, woo! What a challenge. I mean, Mila is out of control, but we did it. I mean, we persevered. We went to a bunch of different dinners, but by like the last couple of days, I was like, look, there's no way I'm going out to dinner. We're going to go get takeout. And but it was a pretty good vacation overall. I've grown frustrated with something here recently. Very, very frustrated. I'd like both of your opinions on this as well. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando, Justin Clark. I've got the beautiful Brianna to my right. Rob Coble's here as well to my left. The trendier the potato chip, the harder said potato chip bag is to open, is what I found. The more expensive the potato chips I've been buying lately, the bags suck. You buy a cheap bag of Lay's potato chips and you go, opens right up.
Rip right open.
The new bags, the trendier the potato chip, they like rip all the way down and they start falling out. I don't understand this. Why? All these, and they try to act like they're healthy too. They're like, oh, it's zero trans fat. The potato chips in this day and age, you got to fix your bag. You have a bag problem with your potato chips, and this is not just me. And another thing, I have a dog, Brocco. He's a beagle. If you know anything about beagles, beagles eat anything. I mean, absolutely anything. This dog won't even eat the veggie chips I bought recently. I mean, the chips market, they've outsmarted themselves. Even my dog won't eat your veggie chips, guys. I like them fine. But when a beagle won't eat them, something's wrong. And I only know this. You know how I know
Did
that...
you try the try it, you'll like it?
No, here's what happened.
How do you know you don't like it if you haven't tried it?
Here's how I know Brocco doesn't like them. Because your stupid, expensive veggie chip bag, when I tried to open it, they all went flying over on the floor. And I was like, sweet, I have a dog. He's going to clean them up. No. He won't even eat the veggie chips that are only on the floor because the bag sucks. You've never had this issue with these new potato chip bags? They don't open properly. It's true. This is not just me. I guarantee you. If you're listening, let us know.
Please.
At Behind the Law Radio if you've had similar issues with your trendy new potato chip bags because they're frustrating to me.
I need to know. I need to know.
Let's do a little news. Allie Mack will be back here tomorrow is my understanding, but she's not here today. It's time to do some news.
It's on the internet. She's talking about it. It's what's going on with Allie Mack.
What's going on? What's going on?
Brianna, what's going on?
So there is a little bit of news that's happening.
Yeah, like a whole report that says we wasted $25 million or something.
You want to talk about that one? You want to talk about that? We can talk about that because.
And I mean, I kind of agree with it. $25 million. We had like 100 lawyers working on this stupid thing. I mean, what did we really get out of it? I'm just tired.
From my understanding, not much.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of this whole political thing. I mean, it does seem like it was a bit of a hunt. No?
Kind of.
Okay.
Just, I mean, for the results that we got and for the disclosure of the results, I think it did seem a bit like a witch hunt.
Yeah.
To no avail.
And you're a Democrat, right? Or you don't talk about that on the show? I forgot.
I'm independent.
Okay.
But no, I don't.
I mean, I call myself a compassionate conservative, right? So I'm more like liberal-ish on social issues, but conservative on financial issues. But I'm certainly not a hardcore like, Republican by any means, but I am a registered Republican. So, but I can see both sides of every issue, and I think Trump does some really he says really dumb things, don't get me wrong, but in this situation, to me, it seems like it was an absolute witch hunt and got us nowhere.
Right.
Other than further debt.
A waste of time and
but
resources.
Whatever. All right, what else is going on?
So, in other annoying news to you, today is International Waffle Day.
Yeah, I mean, seriously? The only thing that makes me more angry about society creating International Waffle Day is that you mentioned it on this program. I don't know if I'm more mad at the country or you right now, but it's close.
Or the
it's
bag
neck
of potato
and neck.
chips.
No, I know for a fact I'm mad at the trendy potato chips.
I'm confused about why you're upset about the bag and not the quantity of chips that comes in the bag.
Because I don't care about that.
Plight.
But yeah, I mean, but at least because there's
usually 50% air.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rob.
I mean, come on.
Because the quantity is zero when the bag flies open and they go flying over the floor.
Yeah, but
I don't
all
do
12
the
of your
5-second
chips
rule.
are now on the floor.
Well, whatever.
All 12 of them, they're done.
Get your trendy potato chips out of my life.
There's that. Well, what about smokable medical marijuana.
It's about time.
Can we talk about that?
Thank you, John Morgan. I mean, single-handedly kind of did this here for this
He
state.
did spearhead this whole thing.
Good job, John.
Oh, yeah. It worked. So if you have marijuana for medicinal purposes, you can now smoke it instead of doing the drops or the pill or...
It's about time. What else is going on? Anything else?
Actually, yeah, Apple.
Apple?
We'll talk about Apple really fast. Apple unveiled that they're going to start a streaming service. So they are combating directly Netflix. They're combating Amazon. They're combating like the big guys. They're throwing their hat in the ring, and they're going to start a streaming service. They're not just selling hardware anymore. They're going to go to start selling software.
And then they're going to like deliver groceries next too.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, everyone does everything.
They're gonna. I didn't read the article, but I saw a headline. They're gonna do games as well.
Oh
They
yeah.
are.
So it's not just TV, but it's games.
News.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of tech, we're going to talk a lot about tech and how Orlando is a really thriving market for the tech industry and just really a cool town in general here in 2019. We'll do that with Rob Coble. He is the host of an excellent podcast called This is Orlando, and we'll do all that right on the other side of this break. Stick around. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the program. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here with you on a beautiful Central Florida evening. Thanks for spending your 8 o'clock hour here with us on our favorite radio station. You can also watch the program 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Follow at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform. You can watch us right there. The beautiful Brianna is back from, forgot again.
El Salvador.
Where did El Salvador?
Like Colombia.
Yeah, look, I mean, Colombia, I get it. You know, people go to Colombia, but El Salvador, I mean, wow, that takes a lot of love of people, I guess, to go on a mission trip down there. It does. I mean, that's crazy. You don't think it's crazy? And you probably have to pay your own way and everything, right?
Murder capital of the world. Not sponsors.
No. So it's the murder capital of the world?
San Salvador is, yeah.
Oh, is that where you were?
Yeah.
But you had guard dogs, so that's good.
Well, we didn't take them out into the community with us, but yeah, we did a lot of street ministry, and there was a lot of gangs we were definitely right in the middle of gang territory.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, we have 50 beautiful states right here in this country. We don't have to have a passport for, and you're going to go to El Salvador, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, Iowa needs Jesus too, I guess.
Wow. I mean, I can literally think of 50 other states I'd rather go to before I would go to El Salvador. I'd rather go to Nebraska.
Oh.
Let me think. I'd rather go to Montana. I heard it's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
El Salvador? That's crazy to me. Nuts.
Going to Guatemala in June.
And then you have to go through Miami, through that whole TSA, or not TSA, the immigration.
Yeah.
Oh, customs. Oh.
Do you have anything to declare? No. I'm telling you.
The last time I went through customs at Miami was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. And I'm telling you, I waited in that queue for 2, 3, 4 hours. At least. It's terrible. Was it that bad for you?
Not really. I mean, I don't think we waited more than an hour.
It was definitely more than an hour for me.
Jesus.
And we were tired, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was a long weekend. Guys' trip. That's not a fun night. Rob Coble is here. Rob, tell me about this podcast. This is Orlando. Welcome to the show, first of all. Tell me about this podcast.
Okay, so we've been recording This is Orlando now we've been up for about 2 years. We haven't been real consistent. We're we're now starting to kind of hit our stride a little bit. I work with an audio engineer named Carlos Ivan Marquez, who is usually with me. And the whole concept of what we're trying to accomplish with this, it started out as a vehicle for university students, kind of teaching them the art of networking and how to get involved in community in their job search. And we expanded it out quite a bit to now just include communities in Orlando. So, when anybody asks, I say we've got a lot more in Orlando than just mice and oranges, right? So what we're trying to do is show off, the great healthcare community that we have, the great tech community, foodie scene, music scene, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're in Orlando and you're looking for something to do, or better yet, you're looking for ways to get involved, we're hoping that you're going to find some of these episodes interesting and compelling enough to go get involved.
How often do you record new podcasts?
We're doing monthly right now. We're in negotiations with a premier sponsor right now, and if that happens, we're going to probably start going to every other week. There's a plethora of people out there that we want to talk to. It's just right now been a little bit more difficult to, pull everybody together and everybody's busy schedule,
How do I find it?
You can find it anywhere you get podcasts. So, the main platforms, Apple, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, Player FM, and you can also get it at my website, which is just robcoble.org.
You're going to hate this question. I'll warn you in advance.
Okay.
So you can punch me, whatever you want to. Don't invite me on your podcast, whatever. Who is Rob Coble?
Well,
Told you.
Rob Coble is a guy that has actually done 3 tours of Orlando, okay? My family moved here in 1979. They still live in the same house.
Oh, wow.
And I came down here for a year. I actually had to finish up high school in Orlando, so needless to say, I was a little rebellious. Turned 18 and graduated, went back to Michigan where I grew up. Came back again in the late 80s, and again, didn't find a lot to love about it. Came back this time 15 years ago, and I spent most of my career in the music business before getting involved in higher education and the tech industry and whatnot. I found, especially within the last 5 years, that Orlando is a place that people want to come and live. It's a place where those of us that live here don't want to leave. It's not just kind of, I had to move here because that's where the job was. So I'm a guy that likes to get involved. I love what I see happening here in Orlando. I spend the majority of my time in the tech space, connecting with a lot of the universities, and just trying to meet nice people.
Orlando is a cool town now. I'm sorry. I think Brianna's probably heard my story before. By the way, it's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here, talking to Rob Coble. He's the host of This Is Orlando podcast. I was in law school in Boston. This must have been 2003 or 4. And one of the guys I was in school with is actually, I was like, where are you from? He said, Florida. Oh, cool. Yeah, beaches, whatever. And I said, what city? He said, Orlando. And I was like, Orlando? I didn't really know people lived here. I didn't know it was a real town. This is not me even trying to be funny. He's like, I didn't know. I thought it was just where Disney is.
Yeah.
And who would have ever thought I would end up living in Orlando? I think I moved here in 2000, maybe 6 or 7. But, I got cold in Boston one day, and I'd taken the bar exam in Florida and Massachusetts at the same time, so I could move to Florida. So I got mad because I was cold one day and moved to South Beach, of course. And then I was working
How long did that last?
About a year.
Okay,
about a year. About the right time,
It'll tear you up fast.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the guy I was working for in Miami at a firm, he wanted to open an office here in Orlando, and he was like, look, I trust you. I'd like to send you up there. And I said, yes, and I couldn't be happier. And I'm not the kind of guy to really say I'm just so happy. I think it's a great community, a great town. We live up in Seminole County. I've got 2 kids. It's a pretty cool place to live, man.
It really is. There's pretty much everything that you find in a big city you're going to find here. And again, referencing the last 5 years, we love to go out to eat. And, there's a million places that are good, that are gaining national recognition.
You have a top 2 or 3?
So Geez, we really love Rustique in College Park.
Yeah.
We've eaten there quite a few times. My wife absolutely loves Prado down in Winter Park.
Yep.
And we do, we end up spending a lot of time down there. We live up here in Seminole County.
You live up here
well,
too.
so,
I got you.
we're usually heading down to Winter Park, and we're trying to get a little more knowledgeable of the whole Milk District area. There's some great taco places there, but I know there's a lot of other cool restaurants that are opening up.
I lived in Thornton Park the whole time, the first, 5 or 6 years that I lived here, and then we had a kid, so I moved to the suburbs against my will at the time, but up in Lake Mary, I'm very happy there. But the Milk District, I'm ashamed to say, I haven't really been back since it's gotten cool. I mean, apparently there are a ton of restaurants there, and I haven't been back down there.
Yeah, absolutely. That stretch between Princeton and Colonial is just nothing but restaurants and cool little shops and stuff like that. Like I said, there's great taco places that we stop into a lot, and a few pubs. A lot of people just hanging out down there.
Right. I do. I like it. I like what's going on here food-wise in Orlando, no doubt about it. I mean, you get me to the chef's table at Luma or something. I mean, that's just a fabulous dining experience. I don't care where you're at.
Yeah.
You worked at Full Sail for a while, I guess.
Did.
What are your thoughts on Full Sail?
I love Full Sail, and it was an incredible 11 years that I spent there. I worked primarily with the game degrees, so a lot of introverted software engineers, which again was the catalyst for kind of getting this whole thing started. But yeah, they have a great program up there, not just gaming, all of their programs. I kind of sat in the middle of the current students, the alumni, and the industry that all these guys were trying to get jobs in. So I did a lot of networking between the three, a lot of marketing the program, and trying to make good connections for people.
Got it. Full Sail is weird in that it's certainly a for-profit school, and a lot of them have terrible reputations, but Full Sail has managed to actually be a for-profit institute, but also have a good reputation. How have they done that?
Well, it's a shame that they're lumped into the for-profit, that whole for-profit category, even though, they are, but they do operate a lot different. I think if you're a student at Full Sail, you are going to get, no matter what degree program you're looking at, you are going to get the tools you need to succeed. That's up to you what you do with those tools. So obviously, you got to work and you got to walk the walk in order to get the job. And anybody that really wants it is going to get it.
We have a whole nother half hour ahead with Rob Coble here on Behind the Law. We're going to play Stump the Clarkie as well, right on the other side of this break. If you want to play along, to win my money, go right now to @Behind the Law Radio. Stump the Clarkie is just ahead on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the program. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here with you as we are every single weeknight, 8 o'clock p.m. Also, watch the TV show. It's Behind the Law on television this Sunday and every Sunday, 10 a.m. on TV 27. Look, you can also play along. We're going to play Stump the Clarkie in a minute. You can play along with us on Facebook at Behind the Law Radio. You can answer the questions right there for a chance to win some money and prizes. So always follow at Behind the Law Radio and play along with us right there. The beautiful Brianna is here, back from El Salvador. Hello, Brianna. How are you?
Awesome. How are you, Justin?
El Salvador, right?
That's right.
The murder capital of the world. Great idea.
It's the best.
I mean, who goes? I mean, even if you're like spinning a globe, it's very likely you're not going to get a place that has murders like that.
Dude, you're not going to break her spirit, man. She's
I'm trying.
She's got it. I mean, she.
I gotta tell you some of the.
I gotta
tell you some of the other places I have planned to go to.
Would you go back to El Salvador?
Yes.
What?
Going back in October.
What? Unbelievable. Joined today by a very special guest, Rob Coble. He is the host of This Is Orlando podcast. I want you to check out his podcast. Rob, how do we follow you? How do we find the podcast?
So, the quick and easy solution is robcoble.org, and that's COBLE.org. You can find it under This Is Orlando on Google Play, the iTunes Store, Stitcher, Spotify, and where all fine podcasts are downloaded.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Stitcher. Really? Is that a thing?
That is a thing.
I got to start reading my podcast books or something.
One of the top 5, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what Stitcher is?
I do.
Bull.
Yeah.
You really do?
I do.
I don't believe you.
Do
That
they
was
have
one of those.
Stitcher in
too.
El Salvador?
No. They don't have internet in El Salvador, pal.
Yes, they do.
They don't even have bathrooms.
Oh, that was tough.
I'm sorry. Look, I have a lot of Salvadoran friends. They get it. I think what you did was honorable. I'm just saying.
It's not for you.
It's not for me. It's just not for me.
The El Salvador part wouldn't be as bad if you didn't have to go through customs in Miami.
Yeah, that would make it a lot easier.
That would be.
Either.
Yeah.
Weekend.
If I could drive, to Volusia County or something to do my mission work, I'd be happy to do it. All right, it's time to play Stump the Clarkie. Rob Coble's joining us today. Here's the deal, Rob. So Brianna likes to see me lose. So it's very likely she's going to come up with a category today, and it's going to be 4 questions that you're going to know something about. So we will write down our 4 answers, and then we'll go back through and see who is the winner.
All right, and now it's time for Stump the Clarkie. Come on, Clarkie. We need you to get over here. We got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarkie. Get over here.
Stump the Clarkie tonight. Brianna, what is the category today?
The category for this segment of Stump the Clarkie is going to be all about Orlando
Oh, okay.
and networking in Orlando.
Pretty cool
Okay.
since Rob spent his whole life here, essentially.
Yeah.
It's kind of cheating.
We're newbies compared to him.
Yeah, you better believe it. That's all right. We'll give it a shot. Rob will probably win the game, but I'll give it my best effort.
the
Stump the
pressure.
Clarkie, what is
Pressure.
question number 1?
Question number 1. Let's start with an easy one. How many square miles is Orlando? Look at Rob's face, the horror.
This is the city of Orlando?
That would be like all of Orlando, not just
Okay.
the city of Orlando. That was a cute question, though.
All right.
Nice try.
Metro Orlando, just
That's what
Orlando
I'm saying,
proper.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. I'm not liking this game.
Uh-oh. Off to a rocky start.
Yeah.
You say things like that, he's going to buzz me just for the question.
I know that Jacksonville is the largest city in America.
Landmass, yes.
I don't know what that has to do with that question, but I'm just telling you. Can I get
I'm
extra?
throwing darts over here, so yeah.
Cool. All right. So what is what was it? Repeat the question.
How
one more
many
time.
square miles is Orlando?
All right, if you're playing along at home, just enter your answer at Behind the Law Radio, and you can play along right here. All right, question number 2.
Question number 2. How many active meetup members are in Orlando?
See, I don't even know what Meetup is.
Oh, dear.
What is Meetup? Am I the only one out there who doesn't know what Meetup is? I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, Rob knows.
Rob
what Meetup
knows.
is. Look at him.
Yeah, I know what it is.
What is Meetup?
but-
Can you at least tell me what the stupid thing is so I know what I'm...
It's a platform where people can connect over a shared topic or industry.
You
like
find
tech.
meetups. You find
or-
meetings.
Yeah.
So, like, if you want to...
Is it like Tinder?
No,
Well,
no.
without the sex.
Yeah.
It's like,
Without the creepy
yeah.
that. Yeah.
If you wanna find a meetup that's focused on, I bet you could find one for your Tennessee Vols. There's probably some kind of meetup.
Yeah.
People get together and watch those games or something like that.
Yeah, get together and
Yeah.
eat food or roll sushi or whatever.
Okay. Question. So it's not like Tinder.
No, it's not like
All
that.
right. Question. I bet Tinder has way more members.
You can drop some zeros off.
Question number 3 for a Monday night edition of Stump the Clarky right here on Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Brianna, question 3.
According to a recent study, what percentage of professionals value face-to-face networking over online networking? What percentage of professionals value face-to-face networking over online?
I think this is an age group question too, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The younger kids coming up don't want to see you at all.
Especially within the gaming community, you tend to have a
Wipey.
very introverted.
There you go.
clientele
Yeah,
there, so-
We can't meet on
But I'm still shooting
Twitch.
high on
I
this
don't
one.
wanna-
So yeah.
I don't
All
wanna
right,
do it.
question number 4, a final question, then we're going to score the game today. Brianna, what's question 4?
According to TripAdvisor, they released a top 15 list of things to do in Orlando. Name 2 of the top 5 things to do that are not theme parks.
Ooh, tough one.
Ooh, that's good.
So 2 of the top 5
2 of the
things
top
to do
5.
when you visit Orlando that don't involve theme parks.
Yep. Your biggest clue is this is according to TripAdvisor. So think of the types of people that use TripAdvisor because they're the ones that's voting.
Damn. What's that river called near my house?
Wikiwachi?
No.
Oh, what kind of?
Yeah.
That one.
That's not on there.
I said
I mean, this is the first time I haven't really. I really don't know what to write. Help me out, guys. I mean,
I was going to go with listening to my podcast, but that's kind of a national thing now. So
all right, quick. What am I gonna write here? Dinner.
I know what I do. When I have
Dinner?
guests in town.
You better name a specific restaurant.
All right, let's score this game here. I don't know. That last one got me, I think. All right, question number 1. It's Stump the Clarky. Behind the Law. What is it? Question number 1.
Question number 1. How many square miles is Orlando?
We'll go with Rob Coble first on this one. What did you say, Rob?
I said 75.
75. Justin Clark went with 590. What is the right answer?
4,012.
4,012?
Moly.
Whoa, I don't know I don't even want to give myself a point for that one, but I will, I guess.
But I will.
So it's 1-0. Justin Clark pulls ahead, but not with a very great answer. It was just slightly better than Rob's.
Right.
So what was the right answer?
4,012 square miles.
Yeah, I feel kind of dumb.
I hate math.
Oh, yeah. All right, question number 2, Brianna.
How many active meetup members are there in Orlando?
I'll go first on this because I don't know what meetup is. I went with 17,000.
Not bad.
Rob Coble?
Ooh, I went with 75.
75,000. You're probably the winner.
Just over 39,000.
So, who wants to do some math now? 40, 50.
I'm a little disappointed. I thought there would be more.
So, who wins? What was the right? You went with what was your
I went
answer?
with 75,000.
75,000. And what was the right answer?
39,000.
39,000, which means 40, 35, 36,000.
I'm glad you're doing the math.
Right, because I'm over here like, just give it to
I
him.
think I
What
think
was
Justin
your
Clark
answer?
gets the victory on that one too. 17,000. So I'm about 19, 20, 22,000 off.
Yeah,
You're about
and she's
36,000.
36,000 off.
All right. Well,
Look at that.
I didn't know what meetup was. But all right, quickly, question 3, Brianna.
Question 3, according to a recent study, what percentage of professionals value face-to-face networking?
I went with 68%. Rob Coble, what did you have?
90%.
90%. What is the correct answer, Brianna?
70%.
70%. I'm sorry,
skunked here.
Rob. That's all
Pretty
right.
good one.
All right, one final question.
Name,
I know I'm going to lose this one.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Name 2 of the top 5 things to do in Orlando that are not theme parks.
I went with dinner and a magic game. So, terrible answers. I just couldn't think of anything. What did you have, Rob?
I'm going with the beach and Lou Gardens.
Okay. What are the right answers? Give us the top 5.
What beaches in Orlando?
Well, it's while you're in Orlando. I mean, you know.
Okay.
Go ahead. What's there?
Justin gets one. Amway Center.
Okay.
International Drive, just the whole segment of International Drive.
Yeah.
What else?
Lake Eola Park, Orlando International Outlets,
Ugh.
and Madame Tussauds were
Really?
the ones that ranked top 5.
Unbelievable.
I know.
This is. There's so much more.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
so much more.
Well, thank you for playing Rob Coble. We've got one more segment of Behind the Law ahead. Stick around. It's ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
I always wonder if I should continue running that one so people don't think it's a Vanilla Ice or not. You know what I mean? Everyone says, it's Vanilla Ice.
First thing that came to my mind, which version is he playing?
I still confuse myself and say that's Vanilla Ice. Anyway, it is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. Thank you for spending your weeknights here with us. To my right, this is a beautiful Brianna back from her mission trip. Now, in all seriousness, what you and your husband did is nice. I'm just kind of joking around because I don't think I want to go to El Salvador. But what you guys did was fantastic. I followed you on the internet or whatever.
He wasn't there. He didn't want to go.
What?
He wasn't there.
He didn't go?
Nah.
Oh, I thought this was like a husband-wife thing.
Nah. I took our kid, though, so.
I'm pretty sure he was in the... Hold on, time out now.
He was at the airport.
That's messed up. So he took a picture. Rob Coble's here too. Rob. Her husband took a picture with the group at the airport as they were checking in for their flight to make it seem like he was going...
That's cheating.
I did not know that. I assumed he went like everyone else who saw the picture of him at the airport with the whole group of people going down there. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what did he do while
Genius.
you were gone? That's the question.
Uh-oh.
Stayed and worked or whatever.
Uh-oh.
Who knows? Not missions work.
Wow, unbelievable. All right, Rob Coble's here. He is the host of a fantastic podcast here called This Is Orlando. Rob, tell me one more time how, first of all, I can find this podcast. I want to start listening, and then tell me what it's about.
Sure, you find it wherever you get your podcasts. So basically, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. We're up on Spotify now, or you can get it at my website, robcoble.org. And we're a podcast about community. So, doing the trivia, we're looking at all this touristy stuff, and that's what everybody thinks Orlando is all about, the tourism. And yes, that's a big part of what Orlando is, but there's so much more. And, we have this incredible tech scene. We have an incredible food scene. The music scene is growing. Healthcare technology in healthcare is something that I'm extremely interested in, and I'm finding some really cool things. Last thing I didn't even mention, this is the capital for simulation, military, all sorts of medical simulations and stuff that people are doing, training soldiers, training technicians, all using gaming software and various technologies.
You worked at Full Sail for many years, I guess.
Many years,
so you've seen sort of the backroom stuff at a university. What was your take on this college admission scandal with USC and some other colleges?
It's kind of sad that not everybody has the same opportunities to get into a school that other people, with all the money and everything do. So, it's kind of sad to see that kind of stuff. I think, the whole admissions, it's very competitive out there especially for the for-profit schools to try and get people in and everything. I think Full Sail did something that, they used to have a saying, I don't know if they still do it, but I thought it was pretty cool. They always said, if you're serious about your dreams, we'll take your dreams serious. And again, once people got in there, yeah, it was for profit, but they had every opportunity. So
the mother of a graduating high school student from Michigan, let's say, calls you up. You went to school with her. She said, "Hey, Rob, I haven't talked to you in a lot of years, but little Johnny's thinking about going to school at Full Sail University down in Orlando. What do you say?"
First thing that I would want to know is what degree program, and then know a little bit about little Johnny to make sure that what he's interested in is going to fit within the passions and skills that he has. If you want to make games for a living, it's a grind at times. It's not sitting around playing games. So there's certain aptitudes that you need to have. If you're great at math, I could never be a game programmer. I hate math. So, I usually try to find those kinds of things out. And then I try to get a sense of what sort of work ethic that the student would have. It's not easy. And really, any university is not easy, but especially something with an accelerated program.
What do you see the future of podcasting?
Man, I started diving into podcasting about 2 years ago, and I'm still learning a lot about it. But what amazes me is how many people listen to podcasts. Everybody I talk to, if they don't know about my show, the first thing they say is, "Oh, you got a podcast? How do I find it?" So a lot of people are listening to podcasts now instead of news radio or instead of music. There's such a variety of things out there, if you want to laugh, if you want to cry, you want to hear a book, whatever, but you can find it, in podcasts. So I don't think they're going away, and I think more and more people are starting to realize the value. I'm in the process right now of working negotiating a deal for a premier sponsor for the show. And I think you're going to start to see more and more of that because people realize that there's a big audience for these things and they can get their message out instead of just buying spots on TV or in the newspaper.
Brianna, this is for you as well. I mean, because I am late to the podcast party. I'll be honest. I don't know that I've ever listened to a podcast. We've had plenty of people who have podcasts on the show before, and I'm very curious about it. But functionally, where do people listen to podcasts? Is it replacing them when they're driving the car? They're not turning it to whatever anymore, or is it when they're working out at the gym? Where are people really listening to podcasts?
Yeah, I all of those that you mentioned. I think during the commute is something that is especially big. Our society has become such a society built on convenience and, I want what I want when I want it. And, you turn on the radio and you don't know what you're going to get necessarily, or even a show that you really like, might not have a topic or something that appeals to you. So you can go right to whatever it is that you want with the podcast.
When do you listen to podcasts? You're a big podcast person, right, Brianna?
I am.
And when do you listen? Is this at the gym? Is it when you're getting ready in the morning? Is it in the car? I mean, where do you listen to them?
It is anywhere that I have a gap of time to be able to dedicate that the mindset to that podcast. For instance, when I am in the car and I'm driving to work and I don't have phone calls, I will listen to a podcast. On the plane to and from El Salvador, I had a podcast on because I was on that plane for 2.5 hours. So I was able to get a really good, I did a batch of NPR podcasts, but then I also did one really long podcast that I didn't want to break up into 2 or 3 days worth of items. So, yeah.
Okay, but if you get in the car right now, as you leave the studio, would you ever turn on a terrestrial, can you say that word for me?
Terrestrial radio?
Thank you. Jesus.
No, I stream my music. So.
All right. Would you ever turn on regular radio or no?
No.
Never.
If I get served an ad, it's because, I wouldn't.
Occasionally, if there's a game or something that's
will?
live that I need to hear, then I'll do that. But yeah,
No.
I don't usually listen to, regular radio too much.
Nope.
The times they are a-changing for sure. It's where does everything fit in? I don't know. Everything is so fragmented anymore, whether it's cable television, I mean, I remember the days where we had 3 channels, basically, right?
Sure.
I mean, barely.
Sure.
I'm not that old, but things are so fragmented now, and how do you reach the mass public anymore? Even with social media, like, well, you know what? I'm not doing any regular advertising. I'm going to do just social media. I'm like, which one?
Yeah.
Twitter? Yeah, are we going to do Facebook, Instagram,
Well,
Snapchat,
and
Twitter? I mean, even that's fragmented.
That's become so diluted as well that, you go on social media now, be it Instagram or Facebook, and, you see your search engine history pop up in ads.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And, they found a way to really maximize it. So, it starts to just become noise after a while because you're seeing so much stuff. It's not really pointed.
So the future of podcasting, I believe, it's not going away. Podcasting is certainly not going away, right? Rob?
It's definitely not going away. I wish Carlos were here with me. Carlos Ivan that I talked about earlier, my audio specialist who is a big time podcast guy. Every time I talk to him, he's like, "Oh, you got to check this guy out, check this guy out." But there's just such a variety. It's like going to a record store now. You're going to find whatever you're looking for.
Rob Coble, thank you so much for being here. I want you to check out his podcast. It is called This Is Orlando. Rob, one more time, how do we find it?
Yeah, you can go to robcoble.org, directly to my website, and listen to them right from there. Of course, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and wherever fine podcasts are sold.
Beautiful. Thanks, Rob. Don't forget to come to our event. This is your special invitation. It is this Thursday, the Under One Roof event, 6 o'clock p.m. at Ace Cafe, downtown Orlando. Mecca Builders will be there giving away a kitchen, Brianna? A kitchen, my goodness. So please come check us out again. This is my invitation from you. You don't need a ticket or anything. Just say that you listen to Behind the Law on ESPN 580 Orlando. Brianna, I don't know much, but I do know one little thing.
What's that?
And I will see you right back here tomorrow night on ESPN 580 Orlando.